Welcome to the Rebirthing Breathwork Summit, a free online event where you'll learn to integrate the power of conscious energy breathing to transform your mind, body, and spirit. Share this online event with your friends and family and join the conversation inside our Facebook group, Rebirthing Breathwork Summit. And now your host, Devendra Narayan.
Welcome everyone to the Global Rebirthing Breathwork Summit. This session is called Rebirthing Breathwork, the power of breath in the mind. And our guest speaker is Heike Strombach. Heike is an internationally renowned rebirther and breathwork teacher. She's a nurse and a teaching nurse by training, working in nursing homes, psychiatric hospitals, and nursing schools. Her personal search for inner transformation led her to find rebirthing breathwork and the founder of the conscious breathing movement, Leonard Orr. Studying and working closely with Leonard for 28 years, she has personally experienced the amazing power of rebirthing breathwork for inner transformation. As well as she has guided others on this path to self-discovery. Heike has a training center near Cologne, Germany, and trains rebirthing breathworkers internationally. Welcome, Heike.
Thank you very much for having me here and spreading the knowledge of rebirthing.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to have you. So the power of breath and mind. Maybe we can start by you explaining to our global audience, what is the connection between breath and the mind? How can we use the power of the breath to shape our mind?
That's a very, very powerful question, and I could talk about it very long. It is known in ancient cultures that the mind can be an obstruction to reaching deeper awareness. So when I say the mind, in this context, I mean the monkey mind. That means our day-to-day thoughts and preoccupations, the thoughts colored by fear and concerns. And that keeps our mind very often busy all the time, and usually we think repetitive. We think the same thoughts over and over again, and psychologists say that we think maybe 50,000 thoughts every day. Not all of them we consciously remember. There are impressions, there are random thoughts, and being aware that a car goes by or a bird sings. So the mind is continuously busy. So when we want to reach deeper states of consciousness, then we need to calm the mind so that we have a level of awareness of other realities, of other states of being. So it is essential and in all cultures known that we need to still the mind. So all spiritual paths, basically the truth is the same, that we have to work on the mind to be in present time. So we want to be aware of the present moment and not distracted by memories, by beliefs, by thoughts that we have. So to reach deeper states of awareness, we need to calm the mind, and the breath is actually the bridge between the visible and the invisible. So the breath is a gift of God or the universe to us, so that we can reach that place within us that we want to, that we can actually access the oneness, the union, the love, and all that is.
That's beautiful. There's so much information. So I want to dive a little bit deeper into it. So we get these, what you said, about 40, 50,000 thoughts in a day, consciously or subconsciously. How is that the way of thinking shaping our body? And you said breath is something that grounds us. So talk to us a little bit more about if someone is caught up in their own mind, is the same, and mostly these are negative thoughts, right? We don't think positive, uplifting, happy thoughts all the time. Maybe we try to consciously think about it. But what is that doing physiologically to our body? And how is breath able to come in and break that autopilot, the tapes that have been playing in our mind all the time?
So that is also a long question, and I can give you the answer in different parts. So the first part is that all the memories that we have, all our pains and traumas, Leonard put them together in a package, and he called them the 15 biggies. First, there were only 5, and so those big events in human life, they have shaped our thinking. So the origin of much pain and fear and anger is, so the biggies are basically birth trauma, parental disapproval syndrome, past lives, if we had any of those, the unconscious death urge, specific negative school trauma, religion trauma, being punished in the name of God, and then what he calls senility, the suppression of the femininity, and the masculine misuse, sexual abuse, and one important thing is also emotional energy pollution, also how we use food to suppress our feelings. So these experiences in our life, they shape our thinking, and when we keep thinking the same thoughts, I mean, the most visible is usually wrinkles in people's faces, and you can see bitterness very easily, bitter thoughts. You can see that very easily in the facial expression of people, or sadness. So after some time, that expression that these thoughts create in the person, they shape the physical form. But that is just the outside. On the inside, those thoughts, they create stress and tension, and that also creates disease. And now even the medical profession acknowledges that there is a correlation between stress and disease, and that there is diseases actually just created by fear. And so the thoughts that we're having, they imprint. And many people know the book by Emoto, how he made pictures of water crystals, and how the water crystals change when you play music to them, when you type words underneath on a piece of paper, and how prayer also changes the consistency of water. And we are 70% water, so we vibrate in that thought.
Oh, that's beautifully put. And when I remember those experiments on water, which are beautiful, the crystals that are forming are amazing, beautiful. And what my mind goes to, Heike, is what you said about emotional energy pollution. And we are surrounded by that, right, in this day and age. So what can people do? I think that's something that could be accessible fairly easily if somebody wants to go after or cleanse their body with these emotional pollution. What are some of the methods that Leonard had taught in his work on cleansing the emotional energy pollution?
So he pursued the idea of physical immortality, which is to keep the body healthy as long as we like. And so the idea is that if we do spiritual purification practices that cleanse the mind and the body, then the body will stay healthy, because the cells have an intelligence that always keeps renewing the cell if it is not damaged, or if it's not programmed in a way to defunct. So the spiritual purification practices that we are teaching, and the training that I still do is still the same as he taught me. So it's expanding, but it is the basic is the same. And so we teach earth, air, water, and fire as the physical elements, and that is we suggest that people to cleanse the emotional body, the aura, or the emotional energy pollution out of the energy body. We suggest that people take 2 times a day, in the morning and at night, a shower or bath, so that the aura gets purified by the water. And so that's the water element. And also then the earth element is physical exercise, is one aspect of it. So we suggest that people have a physical exercise system that they do daily, because we need to experience that our body is functioning. We need to use the body. We cannot just sit all day at the computer and think that the body doesn't need movement. So food intake is another spiritual purification practice, and we suggest people are vegetarian. And I personally am vegan. And then also fasting. I just fasted yesterday, and I practice fasting regularly. And it's a beautiful purification. And not just the body gets lighter, but also the mind gets more calm as well. So that's then the second element. The third element is the fire. We suggest that people sit with actually an open flame, with an open wood fire, and purify. So the chakras will be cleansed by the fire. So just sitting in the presence of a candle or fire will help to purify. And of course, the air element is breathing. And so actually there is many teachings. Also Rudolf Steiner, the Anthroposophical Society, he says that the Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing, is actually responsible for supporting us in our breathing. So breathing is a big key in many, many teachings that we can purify and use for our benefits. And then there is love. To practice love and loving relationships on a daily basis, of course, is good. So that means to heal our close relationships to the family. And gratitude and forgiveness is certainly a part of it. And then the mind. The mind is just practicing conscious and creative thinking, so that it supports us instead of destroying our life and our relationships, which is a lot of times what people use the mind for. And Leonard used to say we are either connected to infinite intelligence or infinite stupidity. So we are connected to the infinite mind, and we can use that for our benefit or to destroy ourselves.
And those practices that you describe, cleansing the 5 elements, harnessing those energies, if I reflect on what you said, all those actually enable someone to work not just on the body, but the mind and the spirit, because these are not just physical purification, these are emotional and spiritual purification practices. So it's a holistic way of living. It has nothing to do with any religious practices, but the 5 elements that I'd say every culture, every religion recognizes the 5 elements. And this is inviting those 5 elements to help us cleanse our karmic cycle and the body.
Yes.
So beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. So Heike, in your experiences, you have worked worldwide with thousands of people with your training. I'm curious to know, what has been your observation when people come to you? What sort of breathing patterns, what sort of habits do they have before they actually learn the conscious connected breath? What are some of the common patterns that you have observed in people working with you?
Yes, whenever I meet somebody, if they come for training or not, I mean, my first awareness goes to their breathing, because I've trained myself to be very observant. And poor breathing, as Leonard called it, is the most common thing. We breathe very poorly. So when you watch people breathe, usually the upper chest doesn't move at all. Some people breathe very strongly in the belly, but usually people have accustomed themselves to breathing so minimal that it relates, of course, to the emotional pattern that they feel they are less visible. So as we are discouraged by our teachers, by our parents, in our self-esteem, we try to not be there. And so especially in women, you see very often that they don't radiate themselves out. So it is the breathing mechanism is so withheld and so blocked that that of course has a big impact on the oxygen intake. So we're using at this point 5 or 10% of our brain function. And what potential could we have if we had more oxygen and more life energy? Because we are not just breathing oxygen, but which the medical profession might deny that it exists, we are also breathing life energy. We are breathing prana if we use our breath consciously. So using our breath, what I teach people then, when I see that low and poor breathing, is of course to expand, to open the upper chest, to breathe into the belly and to the sides, and do all that at the same time. And Leonard called that a full yogic breath. So expanding our breathing mechanism will liberate the tension that is there.
So that's one, but there's also another group of people who have anxiety, anxiousness, and there you see the opposite, which is heavy breathing, which would be more like panting. Could you talk a little bit about that? Because that's exactly opposite of, they're not completely using the lower part, probably. They're mostly using their collarbone and the shoulder.
Well, the breathing is still not very big, but it is sometimes very forced. And also when you see people with asthma, their breathing is totally forced and restricted. So we can say that all types of emotions are connected with a certain type of breathing. So the forceful breathing is for people who might be very angry, or they might be pushing through life. They might feel that they are in survival mode, and so anxiety and all these and fears are very strong in people. So then it goes sometimes into the hyperventilation syndrome, that people actually go into times where the breathing is just taking over, it seems to so uncontrollable, and it produces different physical sensations. And in our breathing sessions, we focus, first of all, I observe what kind of breathing people are doing. And then we together, the client and me, we reconstruct the breathing. That means when we have a certain type of breathing pattern of either forcing too much or not taking too much in, and still today I see new breathing patterns all the time. Everybody breathes in a different way, and it's very fascinating to watch. And so when we do completed energy cycles, which is what we do with rebirthing breathwork, we reconstruct, we encourage all people to breathe deep, to breathe a little bit longer than they usually do. We encourage people in the session, they breathe connected. That means there is no pause between inhale and exhale and inhale. Because long pauses is another pattern that people can have, that they breathe in and then they have a long pause and they breathe out. And so disconnecting the breath actually disconnects us from our feelings. So that is also very common. So, and when I was working as a nurse, the closer people are to death, the longer the pauses are. Till at the end, the pauses can be very, very long. And so when I'm with people and I observe that they're having long pauses, I usually suggest to just take a breath. But in the completed energy cycle, we are actually using the connected breathing, and the breathing breathes the person. So we get them into a connected breathing rhythm through deep, long inhales, and then there is an automatic, and the body takes over. The body will breathe itself, because it's like a divine healing tool that we have. And actually hyperventilation we call a spontaneous rebirthing experience, because people automatically enter that breath, but usually it's suppressed. It's suppressed with medication, or it's you breathe in the same things that you're trying to breathe out, because also 70% of all the toxins that we eliminate from the body is going through the breath. So, and that's the danger with the masks. Basically, people are breathing in all the toxins that the lungs want to expel. And so there might be long-term effects of people using masks, and you're getting less oxygen. So there is a big downside to wearing masks, which we might not be aware of right now, but that might be coming.
So if we go into the conscious connected breathing, well, first I want to ask you, why experience birthing again? Why rebirth? Because that's for a mother as well as a child, that process is not a pleasant experience. Let's just say that. So I'm curious why Leonard called this whole movement rebirthing, and why should one experience rebirthing again in this lifetime?
Well, the Bible says if you are not born again of the Spirit, you cannot enter heaven. So Leonard used to use that quote quite a lot. It just means that also, like I said before, the biggies, the tension that we have are accumulated because of those stressful situations. And it starts with birth in this life. and the way people re-experience, remember their birth in the connected breathing session is basically so safe and very powerful, and we reconnect with the first breath that we ever took, and we are actually reprogramming. We are reprogramming the damage that that was done due to the fear, due to the anger that we might have experienced of being treated inappropriately or harshly, because people used to believe that a little baby doesn't experience anything because they are not aware. But we have the same awareness that we have now. We just don't have the rational thinking process, but we have impressions. And if we think that we are not welcome or not treated right, and that's where the mind comes in, there are the sensations of pain at birth, there's a sensation of fear and anxiety, and then there is conclusions in our mind. And so when we go into the breathing process, we re-experience that trauma, and at the same time with the connected breathing, we are letting go of it, we are changing it, we are letting go of that tension that has inhibited often our breathing a long time, and the body is free to breathe deeply and fully. And Leonard, actually, he wanted to change the name Rebirthing into conscious connected energy breathing or intuitive breathing many times, but the movement had already taken off and people were attached to the name of Rebirthing, and so he always called it conscious breathing. And so then the Rebirthing is just the public name that many people are attached to. And many of his students changed the name, and some of them don't even acknowledge Leonard. And because Leonard is the father of Rebirthing Breathwork, I mean, he had his first experiences, he gave sessions to many people that created their own movement. And so they took that information, and Leonard wanted it to spread. And he always said he would have given them even much more if they had stayed connected.
So Heike, this really powerful capacity, ability of the breath to go deep into our suppressed emotions and memories and pull it out, to release it in a sense, so that we can breathe freely and have a clear vision, shatter the beliefs that we were carrying. But I cannot help notice that the body is an integral part of this process, because it's between the mind and the breath. Is the body is sitting right there. It's the one experiencing everything. With your interesting background in nursing, could you tell a little bit about what's happening from a physiological point of view as one learns to do the conscious connected breathing? What's happening inside the body?
The capacity to breathe more oxygen will help to balance, like low blood pressure rises and high blood pressure reduces, because people get more relaxed, and often it is connected with stress, especially the high blood pressure, and also possible anger. And so the chemical changes in the body, the oxygen brings to our food digestion, to the elimination process, to just have more life energy in the body. Life energy is an essential part that in the breath there's also the sun energy. So we are breathing in all the nutrients of the universe, and it cleanses the body, and it heals the body, and it empowers us. So the body is actually the storage place That's where we hold the emotional energy, and the emotional energy is usually combined of physical sensations with thoughts and memories connected. So the physical body is the playground, and with the physical body we experience the physical universe. And if the body is tense and immovable, we don't enjoy life very much. So when we want to enjoy life to the fullest, like the universe is here for our benefit and to enjoy ourselves here on this planet and express our natural divinity, then we do need the physical body. So the physical body is very essential in this process. And breathing actually connects the body, the physical material, with the spiritual.
So what you're saying is breathing is something that balances the body, brings it back to its neutral state, and especially with this kind of breathing, which invites a deep relaxation response, which many of us need in this day and age. Many people don't know what deep relaxation actually feels like, and allowing the body then to balance itself. So that's beautiful put. Thank you for that. And I want to switch to your long association with Leonard, your travels to India, your connection and learnings from Babaji. I'm not sure how much does the global audience know about Babaji, and is there anything that you would like to share about Babaji on this forum?
For Leonard and for many people, Babaji was the incarnation, the pure awareness of the divine potential, and the Shiva yogi incarnated in physical form. And God, so to speak, comes in many forms. And of course, we all have that divine spark inside of us, but there is beings that come to this planet with full awareness. And so in the Indian philosophy, Krishna, they are all incarnations of the pure divine essence. And Babaji, to Leonard and to many people and to me, had that full awareness, because Babaji was aware of all thoughts of all people all the time. And he would write Leonard letters to America answering thoughts that Leonard was contemplating at the time. So, and in the ashram, in the place where he lived, and his devotees would come, he would respond exactly to each person, and he knew everything all the time. So that's quite a powerful awareness. And distance healing and all these things. So he was here in that body, and he's always present and available to meditate on and to experience him. And so in that body, he was till 1984 in Hairakan, in the ashram in the Kumaon foothills. And so he appeared to Leonard when Leonard was meditating in Houston, Texas. And Leonard was looking for immortal yogis, because Leonard was fascinated with the idea that there's people who love life so much, and they have a level of mastery that includes the physical body. Many people say, oh, the physical body is not important, but if you are totally loving and aware, then the physical body will reflect that. So for Leonard, physical immortality was always the level of love and mastery that he aspired. He did not make it, but in this life, but everybody has their own path, and he was so way ahead of time in his vision of where humanity will go, And I mean, Rudolf Steiner also predicts that we ultimately will grow an organ that we are totally aware of presence, and that we are remembering who we truly are, our divine heritage, our divine being, that we will be totally one again with that. So we all have that vision, and for me, physical immortality is that vision that includes the physical body, so it can become light again, and we become light beings again. So India was or is filled with stories and with masters. And so with Leonard, and we would always go and look for the masters. And I have many lifetimes in India, so I feel very much at home in India. So I love to go there. And actually, I got stuck in the first lockdown till the third lockdown. I was in India because I had a training there, and I just love all my time in India.
I love to see your pictures that you post on Facebook.
Yeah.
near banks of rivers and in ashrams. So
That was
so
the
Heike,
Ganges. Why we encourage people to do rebirthing is that when I had my first session, it was the experience of making love with God. It was, I was filled with energy and love. And that is usually a very common experience that people have, that at the end of the session, the mind is so still, you are fully aware, and we are immersed in gratitude and in love. And so the breathing brings us to that state. It's not just awareness, but it's that pure love that is beyond everything. Okay,
yes,
so
yes, and we love to experience a little taste of that.
yes, so we will do the 20 connected breaths, and many of you might be familiar with that. So there is 7 different types, but we will just do a couple of them. So we will do the 4 short breaths, 1 long breath, 4 times connected breathing. And we do that first. And so we can do that together. And it's connected breathing means you don't stop. It's like a wave. You're breathing in and you're breathing out. And you just be aware that there might be physical sensations, that you might feel tingling, vibration in the body. And so we usually don't recommend that you do too much of it if you don't have a rebirther, because you need a coach with you. And we recommend that you do your first 5-10 sessions with only with your rebirther in individual sessions, not to do group rebirthing, because Leonard wanted people, when they go through that deep experience, to have safety, to be in the space, to go very, very deep and without any distraction. And so the 20 connected breaths is just an example of the connected breathing. And so we are going to do the 4 short, 1 long, 1 4 times now together. And so it's going like, I demonstrate 1 set. And then again, we start with the 4 short and 1 long one. So now we can do that together. So 4 short, 1 long, 4 times. Now we do it with the mouth open. So we are breathing through the mouth. We encourage people to breathe most of the time through the nose, and just use the mouth breathing. So the mouth breathing stimulates suppressed emotions to come to the surface, and the nose breathing integrates the feeling. So deep nose breathing integrates our experience. So that's why we usually recommend nose breathing deeply. So now we do it through the mouth, and I already felt dizzy during the first round.
And I was exactly going to say that I'm standing here, I'm not seated. So for our global audience, do you prefer them to be seated or lying down, because this can cause a slight lightheadedness?
Yes, sitting down is good. And as I said, don't do too much of it, because you might go into a spontaneous breathing session. So, and then you do want to have people that guide, somebody who guides you and supports you, because you might enter strong physical sensations or emotional states and memories, and you deserve to be supported during that. Yes. So dizziness and lightheadedness and tingling and vibration, yes. It's better to be seated. So the next one through the mouth, 4 short, 1 long, 4 times. Okay, now we will balance that with soft nose breathing, and you might feel really tingly right now. And so as we are breathing divine energy, that energy will start the purification process. It will start giving you life energy. It will fill your body with pure life. Are you feeling okay?
Oh, I'm feeling high. I can feel tingly sensation. I can feel currents running all around my body.
Wonderful. Yes. Yes, and it will get more intense. Did you have a breathing session yet?
Yes, I have a couple of breathing sessions. Yes.
Right. Okay. So now we do a meditation, and if you can, I mean, you can hold on, but you can also close your eyes, because this will be a little bit of a longer meditation, and we're using the breath to connect to our divine intelligence and to the energy and all that is. So we are using the 4 short and 1 long one, but we keep going. So we don't stop with 20, and we make our breathing so gently and so softly that there is no sound on inhale or exhale. So we can practice that a little bit. So just breathing 4 short and 1 long breaths, but so softly through the nose that there is no sound. And if you can, I mean, if you hold on with your hand to something, then, or people at home, to sit down and close your eyes. And we're going to go deeper now with this meditation. So just keep going with the 4 short breaths and the 1 long one, so softly and silently. And I lead you into the meditation now. We are breathing divine energy. We are breathing 4 short, 1 long breath. We keep going, and the breath will take us to our sacred place inside of us. This sacred place is our pure being, and we are aware now of our thoughts. Just become aware of your thoughts. The mind will never stop. Thoughts will come and thoughts will go. We shall not be attached to our thoughts. Just being aware of the quality of your thoughts. Wait for the next thought that arises in your mind and let it go. Don't get attached to it, just let it go. Wait for the next thought that arises in your mind and let it pass. Don't be attached to it, they're not important. Thoughts come and go. And become aware of that space between your thoughts. A thought arises. Notice where the thought is coming from. Is it coming from your monkey mind, from your judgmental mind? Or is it coming from the depths of your soul? Is the thought about your divine nature, your power, love, beauty? Those are the thoughts that nourish us. And we censor the thoughts. We let all thoughts go. Don't get attached to it, but we can say, yes, this is a thought that makes me healthy, makes me alive, makes me prosperous. And we can give no attention to the thoughts that invalidate ourselves or others. We keep using the breath to go deeper and deeper into that awareness of ourself. We are divine. We are the spark of the essence of God, of all that is. And it's easy for us to access this space through the breath. The breath brings us to our true nature, to our natural divinity. Om Namah Shivaya, and you can take 3 deep breaths, coming back into reality and present moment.
Thank you so much, Heike. That was so wonderful. And for a moment, I just opened my eyes and there was this aura around you. I don't know if you saw that, with this light shining, and I don't know if our video captured it, but it was mesmerizing. It was really beautiful.
Yeah, something changed in my picture too. It was
Yes, and I was like, this is almost magical. Thank you so much for leading us into that practice. How can people learn about you and your work?
Well, my website is my name, Heike, www.heikestrombach.com. And my email address is also my name at gmail.com. And on my website, I also describe the training. So the training has different parts, different levels. And so in the training, the level 1 is basically what Leonard called the 9-day spiritual purification training. And he was always, people were coming again and again to his trainings if they were serious on the path. So now I have constructed it together with our Rebirth International Breathwork Association. We have now different steps in the training. And so after the first level, we do the second level, which is going deeper into the mastery of the breath. And the third level is communication skills with clients and professional skills. And then usually people go home and they take 3 people through 10 sessions. And then we have what we call the mastery training, or it's a community builder, or the leadership, the special advanced leadership training, that we can radiate our vision out to the world. And so I do trainings. Now I'm doing an online training that will be also in presence in Brazil. So I speak also Portuguese. So I love Brazil. I've worked a lot in Brazil. So I'm working there again. And then I started training actually here in my house tomorrow. And then I do it in different countries. So I have more information on my website. And I welcome everybody who is excited about really going deep. This is a path for people that love to transform their lives and also participate in the transformation of the planet and humanity.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Heike Strombach. We really appreciate your wisdom, your love, your passion for our rebirthing movement. Thank you so much. Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you for having me. Om Namah Shivaya.
Thank you for joining the Rebirthing Breathwork Summit, brought to you by Cultivate Prana. To learn more, visit cultivateprana.com or rebirthingbreathworksummit.com.